In our headlines on this Friday, June 20th, here in South Korea, President Lee Jae-myung partakes in a ceremony today to celebrate the launch of a mega AI data center as the country faces challenging economic tasks. Following days of much speculation over whether or not it would, the benchmark KOSPI closed trade on this Friday above the 3,000 mark. Meanwhile, over in the U.S., the White House says President Donald Trump will announce his decision on a tangible course of action against Iran for its nuclear weapons ambitions within 2 weeks. We start here on the national front. President Lee Jae-myung joined corporate heavyweights at the launching ceremony of a mega AI data center in the city of Ulsan today. Our senior correspondent Yoon Jung-min reports.
A day after returning home from his trip to the G7 summit in Canada, President Lee Jae-myung chose the country's southeastern industrial city of Ulsan for a visit, where a ceremony took place on Friday to celebrate the launch of a mega AI data center as the country faces daunting economic challenges.
대한민국이 지금까지는 고속 성장을 해왔는데 지금 일종의 어쩌면 시중말로 깔딱고개를 넘는 국면인 것 같기도 합니다. 지금 우리가 다시 준비하기에 따라서 완전히 새로운 세상으로 나아갈 수도 있고 또 자칫 잘못하면 다시 되돌아 내려갈 수도 있는 그런 상황인데.
Making Korea one of the world's AI powerhouses was among Lee's pledges during his presidential campaign. Accompanying the president were the CEOs of major companies, including SK Chairman Choi Tae-won and Kakao CEO Chung Shin-ah, as the business leaders pitched their ideas.
I hope the government expands the AI one-stop vouchers so that startup businesses can easily use AI infrastructure at a lower cost. In tandem with the government's creation of a national AI fund, I hope we can nurture as many as 20,000 AI startups over the course of the next 5 years.
Che also asked for an AI government, meaning more AI applications and services used by the public sector. Dubbed the AI Highway, the 100-megawatt AI data center in Ulsan is a joint project between SK Group and Amazon Web Services, worth over $5 billion in investment to meet increasing AI demand at home. There are plans to expand to 1 gigawatt later down the line.
과감한 세제 혜택, 규제 혁신을 통해서 민간의 투자를 촉진하고 대한민국 AI 대전환의 성공을 이끌 AI 시대의 고속도로를 구축하겠습니다.
He went on to ensure that every person in the country can harness the benefits of AI in their daily lives. The president did not forget to put particular emphasis on his in-person visit to the region, as he says Korea's cutting-edge technology can prosper also in areas outside the capital region. Yoon Jung-min, Arirang News.
And following days of much speculation over whether or not it would, the benchmark KOSPI closed trade on this Friday above the 3,000 mark. Our correspondent Park Chun-an has the closing numbers.
South Korea's benchmark KOSPI surpassed the 3,000 points mark on Friday for the first time since December 2021. Closing at 3,021.84, the index jumped 1.48% from Thursday's market close. The last time the KOSPI closed above the 3,000 mark was on December 28, 2021, when it ended the day at 3,020.24 points. The KOSPI recorded its highest ever close on July 6, 2021, when it climbed past the 3,300 level. However, since December 28th of that year, the index has failed to close above 3,000, instead fluctuating anywhere between 2,155 points to 2,989. Korean stocks have risen over 30% since April's early low. Domestically, investor sentiment has improved following the resolution of uncertainties stemming from last December's martial law declaration, which had previously weakened market confidence.
South Korea's shipbuilding and defense stocks rose amid policies associated with the Trump administration. More recently, since the launch of the Lee Jae-myung administration, the market has seen selective gains in AI and securities firms-driven stocks, particularly those benefiting from shareholder return policies.
With the Lee Jae-myung administration now in office, its stock market-friendly policies are fueling momentum to vitalize the market. President Lee, while visiting the southeastern industrial city of Ulsan on Friday morning, commented on South Korea's recent stock market gains.
오늘 대한민국 주가가 2,992.1을 찍고 있던데 새로운 기대로 오늘을 기해서 3,000포인트를 넘어서서 새로운 3,000 시대로 나아가면 좋겠습니다.
Globally, although negotiations are still underway, a 90-day suspension of U.S. reciprocal tariffs and the de-escalation of U.S.-China trade tensions following high-level talks boosted the rise of Korean stocks. Yet, since the market's index growth was driven by expectations, further momentum beyond the 3,000 mark may require solid corporate earnings and clear signs of an economic recovery.
I believe stock market-friendly policies should be implemented more swiftly. Investments in areas like AI also need to proceed smoothly to support the growth of related domestic industries. In addition, improvements in external conditions must be backed by a strong export performance and a broader economic recovery at home.
After the KOSPI surged past 3,000 for the first time in years, investors are asking, is this a true rebound or a brief surge? Park Jun-han, Arirang News.
President Lee Jae-myung earlier on this Friday made a number of vice ministerial appointments. Kim Nam-chung was tapped as the Vice Unification Minister. Now, Kim formerly served as the Chief Representative of the Unification Ministry's South-North Dialogue Division, and the top office adds he holds extensive experience in cross-border interactions. Meanwhile, at the Interior Ministry, Assistant Vice Minister Kim Min-jae has been promoted to Vice Minister, while the ministry spokesperson Kim Kwang-yung has been named Vice Minister for Disaster and Safety Management. At the Agriculture Ministry, Kang Hyung-seok takes on the role of Vice Minister, having led the ministry's Innovation Policy Division. Finally, at the Oceans and Fisheries Ministry, Kim Sung-bom, who headed Marine Policy, will now serve as the Vice Minister. Also, on this Friday at the Parliament, a committee meeting to vote on the confirmation hearing report for National Intelligence Service Chief nominee Lee Jong-seok was cancelled amid fierce debate. The main opposition People Power Party cited unresolved doubts over Lee's views on national security and North Korea, following the previous day's hearing, the first for nominees of the Lee Jae-myung administration. The ruling Democratic Party condemned the cancellation, accusing the opposition of derailing the confirmation process for partisan gain. In other news, the White House says President Donald Trump will announce his decision on a tangible course of action against Iran for its nuclear weapons pursuits within a fortnight. Our Lee Seung-jae has the latest.
Amid growing speculation over U.S. involvement in the ongoing Iran-Israel conflict, the White House says President Donald Trump will decide within the next 2 weeks whether his country will strike Iran.
Now, regarding the ongoing situation in Iran, I know there has been a lot of speculation amongst all of you in the media regarding the president's decision-making and whether or not the United States will be directly involved. In light of that news, I have a message directly from the president, and I quote, "Based on the fact that there's a substantial chance of negotiations that may or may not take place with Iran in the near future, I will make my decision whether or not to go within the next 2 weeks." That's a quote directly from the president for all of you today.
The White House spokesperson added that Trump is always interested in a diplomatic solution, calling him a peacemaker-in-chief, but noted that the U.S. leader is not afraid to use strength to achieve peace. Meanwhile, according to CBS News, citing multiple sources, President Trump believes it's necessary to destroy the Fordo nuclear site. The report says Trump had been briefed on both the risks and benefits of striking Iran's most secure nuclear site and found it necessary to disable it due to risks of weapons being produced in a relatively short period of time. Trump approved attack plans on Iran on Tuesday, but has not yet made the final decision to join the conflict with strikes. According to a Pentagon official, Trump held off on the decision to strike Iran in case Tehran decides to abandon its nuclear program. Lee Seung-jae, Arirang News.
Meanwhile, dozens of South Koreans have been evacuated from Iran and Israel by land on buses and are currently seeking shelter in nations bordering these two foes as their military confrontation escalates. Our foreign affairs correspondent Oh Soo-young reports.
60 South Korean nationals have been safely evacuated from Iran and Israel to surrounding countries, as Seoul authorities urge those staying behind to swiftly leave the conflict-ridden areas. Seoul's foreign ministry said Friday that a total of 34 Korean citizens and their family members in Iran have crossed over to Turkmenistan as of Thursday local time. The first group of 18 Koreans and 2 family members departed Tehran on Tuesday, traveling for around 30 hours over some 1,200 kilometers to Iran's eastern border with Turkmenistan on a bus provided by the Korean government. They entered Turkmenistan on Wednesday, and the second group of 10 arrived the next day, followed by 4 more individuals. Meanwhile, 25 Korean citizens and 1 Israeli family member were evacuated by bus from Israel to Jordan on Thursday. Embassies in Iran and Israel have provided chartered buses for nationals wishing to evacuate, while rapid response teams dispatched from Seoul's foreign ministry arrived in Turkmenistan and Jordan to assist with customs clearance and flight scheduling. Roughly 460 South Korean nationals remain in Israel and about 90 in Iran. The government stated that it stands ready to provide additional consular support and evacuation assistance upon request. Its travel advisories for Iran and Israel are both at level 3, which recommends Korean nationals leave the country in question. There have been no Korean casualties so far amid the rapid escalation of the conflict. The Foreign Ministry has said it will continue to monitor the situation and maintain close communication with overseas missions to ensure the safety of Korean people. Oh Soo-young, Arirang News.
The monsoon formally made landfall here in South Korea on this Friday. And for those of you in the greater Seoul region looking to make the evening commute back home, do take care on the road. Our Kim Jong-sil covers the weather.
The monsoon season has officially begun in South Korea, bringing scattered showers, strong winds, and thunderstorms, with conditions intensifying throughout the day. Heavy rain advisories and warnings are in effect for the capital region, northern Gangwon-do, and parts of Chungcheongnam-do provinces, where rainfall rates could reach as high as 50 millimeters per hour. By the end of the day, the monsoon will gradually spread nationwide, with the authorities warning of heavy rainfall across the country.
The rain currently falling will be recorded as the first monsoon rain of the year, and it will gradually expand nationwide. By tonight, both central and southern regions will officially enter the monsoon season.
With rainfall expected to reach up to 50 millimeters per hour, authorities are warning drivers of extremely dangerous conditions.
If rain exceeds 50 millimeters per hour, driving becomes impossible, as the rain hitting the windshield of a fast-moving vehicle can reduce visibility to almost zero, making it extremely difficult to see.
The authorities are also warning of localized flooding and heavy downpours, particularly in central and southern regions, as the rainfall intensifies. While the rain is expected to ease in central areas by Saturday afternoon, some parts of Jeju Island and the south may continue to experience rain through Sunday. Kim Jong-sil, Arirang News.
Meanwhile, streams of K-pop songs have surged more than 400-fold over the past decade. According to the world's largest streaming service, Spotify, K-pop plays on its platform have surged 470 times since 2014. Now, last year, K-pop accounted for over 9.7 million streaming hours, with artist revenue more than tripling compared to 2019. The US, Indonesia, and Brazil were among the countries that streamed K-pop the most. Seoul is currently hosting its annual book fair, which began 71 years ago, to offer book writers, book makers, and book readers, if you will, a venue to come together. And the enthusiasm for the event this year has been even greater. Our Choi Soo-young tells us why.
The rich, nostalgic scent of ink and paper fills the venue. Crowds have flooded the hall, reading, touching, and experiencing books up close. The 2025 Seoul International Book Fair opened on Wednesday, June 18th, and tickets were all sold out even before the event started.
I come every year out of habit, but it really feels like there are more people each year. It's just so nice to see that so many people in Korea truly love books.
Under this year's theme, The Last Resort, the fair has invited visitors to find their own peaceful last resort in books. Beyond books, book-related goods, merchandise, and open-to-all book talks and author lectures are major crowd pullers, especially attracting young people eager to enjoy book culture.
Although the publishing industry faces challenges, I keep seeing that many people still love books themselves. There's a reason why a book needs to be a book, even with so much digital content out there. We put effort into creating books that people want to buy, own, and read by finding designs that best complement the text.
We wanted to show how book culture extends beyond paper into many content formats, like merchandise. And a new generation is rediscovering the power of books and freely expressing their identity through them. Our goal is to create a space where everyone can enjoy and celebrate that culture.
International interest in discovering Korean authors and literary content is heating up as well.
Korean literature is in the global spotlight thanks to novelist Han Gang's winning the Nobel Prize in Literature. That buzz is fueling a record turnout at this year's Seoul International Book Fair, with around 150,000 visitors expected by this weekend.
Over 530 publishers from 17 countries, including Taiwan, France, Germany, and Thailand, are taking part in the event. A German publisher participating in the fair for more than 20 years says Korean literature stands out for its modern blend of history and pop culture.
But then we had a new trend worldwide with young adult, fantasy, romance, and Korea is very strong in that. Korea is very strong in contemporary, strong fantasy, which goes back into history, but also using elements of all art of popular culture. The integration of popular culture into literature, I think it's a phenomenon from Korea.
The Seoul International Book Fair runs until Sunday, June 22nd. Choi Hyung, Arirang News.
This is The World Now, bringing you the latest stories from around the globe. Communities along Mexico's southern Pacific coast are working to recover after Hurricane Erick made landfall, battering Oaxaca and Guerrero with heavy rainfall and flooding. Erick reached the southern Mexican coast early Thursday as a Category 3 hurricane with 205 kilometers per hour winds, then weakened as it moved inland. The storm brought torrential rain reaching up to 41 centimeters in parts of Oaxaca and Guerrero, triggering widespread flash floods and landslides in the mountainous zones. Streets in the tourist town of Puerto Escondido are filled with debris and power lines are down. Around 2,000 temporary shelters were set up in the states of Chiapas, Guerrero, and Oaxaca for those who have left their homes. President Claudia Sheinbaum had urged people to stay home and advised those living in low-lying areas or near rivers to seek shelter. No fatalities or injuries have been reported. While cleanup and restoration are underway, Erick is expected to weaken further and dissipate by late Thursday or early Friday. Thailand's prime minister is facing political backlash and calls for her resignation after a leaked phone call with Cambodia's former leader Hun Sen. Prime Minister Paetongtarn Shinawatra apologized publicly on Thursday after enraged nationalist critics accused her of undermining Thailand's sovereignty and military by trying to appease Cambodia. On Sunday, Paetongtarn spoke privately with Cambodia's Senate President Hun Sen about easing border restrictions following border clashes on May 28th that left a Cambodian soldier dead. In the 17-minute call, which was later posted online by Hun Sen after a shorter version was leaked, Paetongtarn referred to him as uncle and criticized the Thai army commander overseeing the border, calling him an opponent. A major coalition party withdrew support from her government, leaving it on the verge of collapse. Protesters gathered outside the government house in Bangkok on Friday, calling for her resignation. Google has taken a significant hit in its legal fight against the European Union's antitrust penalty over Android's market dominance. On Thursday, the Advocate General at Europe's top court recommended dismissing Google's appeal and upholding the reduced $4.7 billion fine originally imposed in 2018. Regulators found that Google abused its dominance by forcing device manufacturers to pre-install Google Search and Chrome and by rewarding them for exclusive installations, suppressing competition, and limiting consumer choice. The original $4.98 billion fine was slightly lowered in 2022 to $4.7 billion by the General Court, which Google then contested. Pope Leo XIV conducted his first formal media interview on Thursday with Italy's state broadcaster Rai TG1 with a declaration that we must always promote peace. He emphasized the crucial role of dialogue and reason in resolving conflicts. Speaking from Vatican City, the pontiff lamented that countless innocent lives are being lost across war zones and urged the international community to seek diplomatic solutions over military confrontation. He reiterated his earlier stance that no nation should threaten another's existence, calling instead for respectful engagement, rooted in justice and human dignity. Choi Ji-hee, Arirang News.
Heavy and disruptive monsoon rains covered most of Korea today. Central regions and Jeollabuk-do province have been seeing heavier showers from this morning. So heavy rain alerts are remaining in place for the capital area and parts of Gangwon-do. It's a rainy and windy day for the capital region with a strong wind advisory being issued and also along the west coast and parts of Jeju Island. The rain should let up in central areas tomorrow, but southern provinces will see downpours dropping 20 to 50 millimeters per hour. Chungcheong-namdo and Jeollabuk-do province could see up to 180 millimeters of downpours. Well, despite the drop in temperatures, it felt muggy all day today, and it's not going to be much different tomorrow. Daytime highs in the capital will rise a bit at 28 degrees, Gwangju topping out at 25 degrees Celsius. The monsoon rain in the southern provinces and Jeju Island should continue through early next week, so please stay safe. That's Korea for you, and here's a look at the international weather conditions.
Those are the headlines at this hour here in South Korea. As always, thank you for watching.